Morning, Josiah. I'd like to purchase the property that you have listed in Alcoa, Tennessee. This is the third property in the row of development that you're working on next to Lowe's. A friend of mine is going through a data set that I put together. This data set is about top performing locations next to other top performing locations, kind of modeling clusters of high ranking QSR locations in different parts of the country. The strategy of doing this is looking at those market areas and seeing what's available in those areas for a specific brand that likes to go next to this trifecta of other brands that's happening with really good statistics in this area. We found that in this area, we've got those brands. They're lining up, competing with each other, and one of them's missing. That missing brand we like to do business with, I think would go really well on this property that you have available. You're asking a good dollar amount for this property, but it makes sense with the statistics that are happening in this area. It makes sense if we can get the specific brand to go on this property. As a part of this offer to purchase this property, I would like to ask for some time. I would like to ask some time to talk to and work with a specific brand that I believe goes on this property and show them the statistics, show them the data, show them the action that's happening in the neighboring restaurants in this area. Historically, and in other environments, they're next to, near, and around those other QSR restaurants that are doing really well. This brand does really well too. I would like to show that to them. I'd like to model it out. I would like to create and present the business case scenario to them that this is how it works in statistics. And because of statistics, this would be a great location for them. I would like to offer them this location. I would like to offer to build it for them. I would like to offer to pay for it and make it really easy for them to set up another location on this property. To them, it's about setting up another location and opening another revenue stream to the overall piece of their business. It's not about just buying a piece of real estate. To me, it's about buying another piece of real estate and finding a use for it that unlocks value and delivering it to a client like these guys. My name's Luke Smith. I like to study real estate. I like to do real estate deals. You can look me up in county records all over the place. You can see properties I bought and sold and worked on. I started with properties in the deserts. I started with properties in the deserts because they don't cost much and that's what I could afford. I started figuring those properties out. I started adding access. I started splitting them. I started adding pictures. I started adding maps. I started adding descriptions. A lot of them, the sellers didn't even know the locations of the properties, and neither did I. But I went through legal descriptions in lots of different ways and figured out those properties and presented them to the market for what I could figure out and sold them for more. I started with really small value add plays like that and moved on to bigger properties and better properties, properties closer to town, properties closer to houses, properties closer to infrastructure, properties that actually have infrastructure, that have better attributes. If I worked my way up over time, and somewhere along the way, I got into properties with high traffic retail, properties like you have here, like the property, the 10 acres you started with before you started carving it up into pieces and dealing them off to the different users. And so I got some of those properties and I got stuck in my tracks. They were totally different than what I was working on in the past. But people sold me these properties because they didn't know what to do with them. They didn't know how to use them. They didn't know how to put them to work. I did what I love to do, and I started looking at the data. I started looking at the data of similar properties, neighboring properties, properties in the next town, properties in the next state that had the same attributes as this property, ones that had already been figured out. Who is it? Who used that property? What business started going there? Could I call them up? Could I reach out to them? Could I send them a letter? Could I get in touch with them and say, you just did this over here. Why don't you do the same thing in this town where I have a property over there? And they would say, Luke, but I need this and I need that. And so I would figure out how to solve their problems and make it happen. And I started revaluing a lot of different properties by doing that. I've learned a lot about doing those kinds of deals. Turn full circle back around to this property that you have. Now I'm working data and shopping for people that I like to do those kinds of deals with their specific criteria in mind and saying, this is the perfect property for you. This is one of many that you should be doing. And I want to be the guy that brings them to you, delivers them to you on a silver platter. And so you have the property. I would like to deliver it to a tenant on a silver platter. And when it all says, okay, I would like to close with you as fast as I can. I've got proof of funds along with this video and the offer that I'm presenting to deliver on that promise and buy that property from you and work it out with them over time. Please take a look at my offer. That's why I'm asking for some time in this offer to put that all the way through. At the same time, I'm going to go talk to the specific tenant. I'm going to reach out to a whole bunch of other tenants that statistically fit this property as well and try to get them buying for it fighting each other for it, if you will, right? Then the deal's closed a lot easier. So it might be the specific tenant that I'm thinking and want to work on this one, or any one of the many others that I'll try as well. So that's why I'm asking for some time. I'm asking for some time in this offer. And with that time, I believe I can offer a top price compared to other people that might be working this property with. So if you just give me the time to work on it, I think I can give you the higher price. If that's agreeable to you, please feel free to get back to me. Let me know. My contact information is walled. I'm an open book. Feel free to ask questions. Try to help as much as I can. If you're watching this video from other angles and you're interested in that kind of data dance and figuring out tenants that go on properties, or figuring out vacant land and figuring out how to match them with tenants to make them liquid, to make them more valuable, to make them more useful going forward, feel free to take a look at the link in the description below. It'll take you back to my free community. And this community, I've got a lot of like-minded people where we talk and we share and work on different projects together. If you're interested, I think we can learn a lot from each other comparing notes on these kinds of properties. If you're interested in owning these kinds of properties for the cash flow later on when the tenant's involved, or the depreciation, or one way or another, feel free to reach out as well. My contact information is on my website, realvacantland.com. I've got a couple different properties in the pipeline that I'd like to hand off so I could recapitalize and buy more properties like this to do the same thing with it. And so if you're interested in the cash flow side of that, please let me know. We'd reach out. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Salute Smith, realvacantland.com. See you in the next one. Bye.